Okay, clanmates, I've received a few questions about how my base is holding up since the new Wallbreaker AI has been introduced in the game. So I figured I'd go ahead and put a video and we'd review a few of the recent attacks at the time I took this video, and I'll talk you through it and let you see. As you can see, I'm using Visp's Flying V still with just the modification of adding a tile between wall sections in the north around that main chamber, and there is a missing wall section at the very north creating a little funnel hole that I've filled with spring traps. People have asked specifically how those spring traps are doing, so I wanted to go ahead and show you that. This layout is sort of thanks to the dude, and I wanted to say a little thing about the Visp Flying V if I can real quick, and I hope I get this right, but in my opinion and in my experience, it's not a total defense base. It's not going to defend against everything. It's really about managing losses, so they can get into one or two storages, but generally not more than that. But let's go ahead and look at some of the attacks I got recently, and you can kind of see what I mean, and I'll maybe talk a little bit more afterwards. So here's the 3 attacks I got recently, and you can see they're all successfully defended. The most damage I took was 46%. They never really got a lot of resources. I really don't like that 116 Dark Elixir that Brasky 74 got. But and they used a lot of troops to try to make those attacks. None of them actually, I think, gained back their elixir, their return on investment on this. So let's go ahead and start with this Edo King one at the bottom here. And this is an attack done while all my defenses are available, and you'll see he starts off with a lightning on my mortar to try to soften up my defenses. You'll also notice that my 2 archer towers, okay, this is the spring trap. This is how effective the spring traps are. There's 3 giants, 3 giants, 3 giants. All 9 giants are toast. Now as barbarians are distracted, a couple more barbarians are gone with the spring traps. What I was saying is you'll notice my archer towers are upgrading. So you can imagine that if those archer towers were live and firing, that he would actually even have a harder time getting into that main chamber. His archers and barbarians get distracted down the sides. He finally gets people into that front wall and breaches and comes in and gets into the main chamber. So he's made a decision to go after the main chamber, probably because the Dark Elixir is there. Giant bombs pop up. They don't do the best damage, but they do take out some of his troops. The Teslas pop. He finally gets one archer out of my clan castle, but that's it. Very quick. He couldn't even get to the storages, really. But so he made a decision to go to the main storage, couldn't get into the wings. So that was a fairly successful defense. Let's go and look at, was this 21 GGI 14? A lot more troops. The most successful as far as damage-wise, and I think he also got the most resources. Now, I don't have any traps left, and he ends up starting down in the south here. Ton of wall breakers. He breaches the outer wall, but Teslas and my defenses prevent the inner wall from being breached. He triggers my clan castle in its entirety this time, and he uses a lightning to dispatch those, to try to dispatch my clan castle. It gets a good chunk of them. It's a strategy I've used in the past. And he goes to town focusing in this lower left quadrant. So again, he's concentrated to try to get in. Now he releases a bunch of barbarians and a bunch of giants and a barbarian king. Throws a healing spell down because he's trying to get those defenses out of there. And then that's strange to me. He does that healer because my AD is still up. So the healer doesn't survive. 4 shots later, the healer's gone. That was a waste. But he ends up clearing out that lower wing section and then starts to try to break into the main section. By this time, this is all that's left of his forces, is a giant, a barbarian king, and these 6 archers. He breaks into the main section, and barbarian king is getting at that storage, so he's able to actually touch 2 of my storages. But give my defenses a bit of time. He actually gets 2 of my storages. Barbarian king goes down. Archers are taken care of. So now 1 more mortar round takes out those 2. So now he's got 1 archer left that just happens to be out of range of everything. Again, archer towers are upgrading. If that left archer tower was not upgrading, it would have made it much harder, and they would have been picking off, doing more damage to either the Barb King or picking off this archer now. Takes a move up. Boom. That's it. That was the most successful attack of the 3 I'm showing you today, in that it got the most damage on me. And yeah, it got, well, not the most elixir or dark elixir, but the most gold. So let's look at this last attack, which got the most dark elixir. Now this is after I've been able to replenish all of my traps. So this guy, I assume guy, starts off with the archer surround method. Right? And they'll pick off a lot of these external buildings. They'll pull out my clan castle, which will start to fight back. And they pick off some, and some of my cannons in that lower segment kick in. Then in come the wall breakers. So none of the first wall breakers made it through. All of my spring traps took out wall breakers. Then the giants come in, and then in come a second batch of wall breakers, which again, spring trap and a mortar round take care of them. So none of the wall breakers actually detonated. Bad use of wall breakers. You'll see all the other archers in the surround method are gone, so now it's just this main force of giants and a lot of archers and a barbarian king. The giants get in. Again, those archer towers are upgrading. So, and I think that northern castle was upgrading too. He lightnings my DE storage just to make sure he gets some. And in comes his clan castle full of wizards. So he's breached that central chamber, and he's going to town in there. But now I've got all of my defenses are brought to bear on his troops in there, and it's just a matter of time before and he only got 1 storage totally. So that kind of goes to show how successful this setup has been for me. I think it's been very successful. The space in between the walls means wall breakers can't breach both at the same time. That open hole in the north funnels troops through there, through their path detection, and those spring traps really work and get rid of a lot of people coming in. So thank you for watching, and happy clashing, as Visp would say.